Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anush.
Okay. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. So today's session is on the solve with instructor part. All right. So we'll working with. Okay. So we'll work. We will be working with our way of doing things. Right. Talking about how things are done practically. Okay. Talking about a topic that is that we should like that comes as a part of mostly week 5, but we discuss it in week 6 because week 4 this week, because this is something we would want our basics to get clear before we come to the major part of it, that is talking about Flask. Okay. So first of all, I would like to know how many of you have done watching screencast for week 4. Yeah, so see, so in week 4, we are mostly talking about databases and models, but the screencast says the another story. That is mostly based on the Flask. So we introduce basics of Flask in week 4, so that you have some idea when you jump into week 5 and its content. So yeah, okay, 7 people from a pool of 41 participants. Okay, fine. Okay, and how many of you have started working on week 4 lab assignment? So that is something that is really based on Flask. All right. So yeah, so those who have watched screencast will, this session will be helpful to those also to build on what you have learned in screencast. And for those who haven't, it is okay. You can go with watching screencast, uh, and this session will also clear some of your ideas. So yeah, so how do we go with the session is again, since this we have been doing for every solve with instructor session, we'll give a question statement. I'll read it out. All right. Explain the things that I want you to do in the session, and then you can follow along. I'll wait for some time, and then you can start with me, or if you get the idea of what we are trying to do, if it seems okay that you can do it, you are all welcome to go ahead. Okay, but the thing is, some of the concepts I hope might get cleared with this session. All right, so what I'll do is I'll share my screen. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, yeah. So I'll open this. So this is the Replit interface. You can see Replit interface, right? And this is our today's task. So this task is not very much, but yeah, somehow related to what we have done in week 2. Okay, in week 2, Solve with Instructor session, we created our data science wiki, right? So there were 3 static pages that we worked on, having same type of structure, DOM structure as we call it. We'll talk about DOM later. But okay, so that is HTML structure, or the document structure was same for all those 3 pages. But one part was to be noted, there was all the pages were static, right? We wrote everything, coded everything, and we cannot change anything that was happening in the page. Okay, so they were static HTML pages being rendered by the browser. That's it. In this session, what we'll try to do is we'll try to add some dynamicity into those pages, that is creating those pages on the go. Okay, so those pages will not be created. So if you see here, I'll read it out. So yeah, so now that you are done with the creating, so it should be creating. Okay, it's creating static HTML pages. That is example that we data science wiki, which we have taken last session, say week 2. Okay, we'll try out a way to generate them dynamically with the knowledge of Flask. Okay, so we'll be definitely using Flask. So I'll go with some basics of Flask. Will not deep into the Flask part, because Flask has just started from this week. So after, whatever comes from here will be a part of Flask in some way or the other. Okay, So what we need to do is we need to use the page structure of week 2 solve with instructor session. Okay, I'll provide you that. Basically what I'm going to provide you is css that we have taken in that session, okay, and one of the file html page. Okay, so that will be so that you don't have to create each and everything from the scratch. What we need to do this time is we need to create an html form, okay, and add data dynamically through form. What I want to do is in the last session, okay, so when I refer to last session, I'm referring to week 2. Okay, uh, all right, yeah, sure, snail. Okay, so if there are specific doubts, I'll take it once I explain this. Okay, so yeah, where was I? Yeah, so the thing is I'll be giving you one html page and the css page. You can take yours because I hope you have worked it out with me in the week 2 session, so you can take yours. Just wanted to keep the entire structure same. Okay, but therein what we did was we typed in all the content. So here also will be typing in, but here will not be taking into consideration the designing part of it. What we want here is to just create a form and enter all the data that we want to be seen on the page. Okay, so basically we are creating a page, but we want will be simply entering the data, and then we want our application to do the job for us. Okay. So yeah, so content of the form, as I said, would be depending on what you want to add, what you want your page to look when somebody opens your page. But what I have added is topic, subtopic, content of topic, related image, and additional link. Okay. The previous pages also had ordered and unordered list, but see, that is something will not focus on, because the concepts related to HTML are done now. Now we'll be more focusing on concept related to Flask, and not putting our entire focus on minute things of HTML. Okay, so with the topic, I meant the name of page that you want to create. The subtopic is the thing that we wrote just below that. Okay, a small statement on that. Then comes the content on the topic. We wrote a paragraph, right? So in the HTML file, we hard coded the paragraph. Then there was a related image, and then an additional link. Okay, here I've not taken that ordered and unordered list. An additional link would be not directing you to another page. So initially those links that were there were directing you to some other page, the same page in your folder structure. But here what it will do is, let's say I want to create, so let's take a topic of data science only, and if I want to add more information that was not there in that page that you just created, you can add a link which will give you additional information on that. So that is the idea. Okay, yeah, the stylings. All right, yeah, this is important. Once the page is added, a new HTML file specific to that page should be created in a root directory. So this will relate to something that we did in the last solve with instructor session, that is week 3. But but that is not something that we are looking on. We just want a new HTML file specific to that information. Why? Because I want whatever I'm putting into form to get stored somewhere. Okay, so here we are not using database still. We'll be working with database in the coming session, but here, since we don't have database, we'll be creating static pages dynamically with Flask. Okay, and yeah, the style.css that we used in the previous session, I'll give you that. So that style should be inherited for all the pages. Okay, and you can store your image. So whatever image as I added here, right, related image, so that image can be stored in your directory. So you don't have to provide a different URL directly for image. You can if you want to, no issues with that. Okay, what I would do now is just give you a preview of what we are doing. Okay, so let me go to shell. By the way, if this any part of this is not clear, probably it will get cleared from the preview. Okay, so okay, let me go to shell, and this is something that this file I want to run from here. So what I'll do is I'll simply write Python, okay, and then space, and then the name of file that I want to run. Yeah, so this is a Flask application. That's why we'll see things like server running, debugger on, okay, restarting with stat, and then it should look like, yeah, something like this should happen. Okay, so this is a form. Okay, and this forms allow you to add a new page into that wiki. Okay, so let's say, yeah, so these are some previous topics I've added just to give you So just for testing, when I was working with this application, okay, and then I'll do the same so that we save our time. Okay, so let's say it's cell phone. All right, so these, it will suggest me what I've added before. Okay, cell phones are portable telephones. Probably not really. Okay, so I'll add the same content here. Okay, you can add anything, and that is the reason this content is having provision to increase it, right? That is the reason we are since we want some a larger content to come in this part, we'll add things like this. Okay, providing a provision to increase the size of text what that you want. This is called basically called as text area. We'll see in how we do it in the form. Okay, then image URL. Okay, so if you see the static folder in my folder structure, I've got the CSS style.css and cellphone.png here. Okay, so I'll take that directly from here. Okay, I'm not sure if this will load because, okay, let's see. And then there is an additional link that is giving a link to Wikipedia page of mobile phone. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'll hit add page. Let's see if it shows. All right, yeah. See, so this is creating all the things by itself. Only one thing is not loaded, right? So I was expecting this not to happen. So one reason why this is not this happened was some issue with the URL. I'll tell you what is happening there. Okay, so I hope this is clear, right? So what we did some basic information, and it took the template of previous page. So every page that I create will be more or less in this format only. And so if you see here more info here, so if I click here, I'll be directed to that link, okay, which I add Wikipedia.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, because of some network issue, I just joined late. Can you just quickly say the in the first what you told, what we have to do?
Yeah, so see, the thing is we have to create a Flask application basically. Okay, so what we did was this is a build up on what we are trying to do from week 2. Okay, so week 2, what did we do? We created some static pages, right? With same styling and all. But what we did there, we created static pages, right? Things written there, hard coded, and then those pages got saved. Okay, here what I want to do is, okay, let me just reload this. Let's see what I, okay, here what I want you to do this is create this form. Okay, and whatever data that you want to be represented on the page of the wiki that we are creating should be entered here. Okay, and all the things related to styling and their structure will be taken care of by the by taken care by the template that we'll be using in the Flask application. Okay, so a step forward is what this page is created dynamically. So we have not created this page typed and all. Okay, just we typed it here and then everything was taken from the application. Okay, I also mentioned that is this clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a demo of what we need to do. So this is the page. Okay, and one thing if you observe is I said in the markdown, I'll share this markdown also so that you'll know what we did from the very beginning. Yeah, so once the page is added, a new HTML file specific to that page should be created in your root directory, right? So this is the root directory. I see cellphone.html. Okay, so this is the newly created file. This wasn't there before. Okay, so if just to prove you this, I'll delete this file. Okay, and then I'll add here. Okay, same things, cell phone, because I don't have much to talk here. Okay, cell phone are portable telephones, same thing to be added here. Image URL, static cell phone. See, what I'll do here is I'll just remove this. Okay, cell phone. And additional link is this. Okay, so I've just added in the image URL, I just gave what my image name was. Let me add this page. Yeah, so we can see the image also right here. So that was the issue. So that static dot, if you have seen the suggestion, there was static slash cellphone.png, right? So that static I've taken care of in the program itself. I'll tell you what I'm saying here. Okay, so this is the page that gets
Yes, sir.
created.
Yes, sir.
Right, so what happened, the information that I wanted to be represented was inputted by me with the help of form, and then the template took care of everything. Okay, then there was one link that was Wikipedia, so that comes in from here. Okay, so that gets embedded into that more info. Okay, so I suppose you got the task. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
all right. Mehak, link for what? The
The one the file you have with markdown and everything.
yeah, I'll send you. Just a minute. I was explaining, so I didn't. I'll create a REPL. Okay, add necessary files. I'll add files like style.css. Okay, I'll add one file from a week to solve with instructor session so that you can use it for template. Okay, you don't need to write the HTML file all along. See, but there is one thing to this. We are also using. So if you observe here in the markdown, in things to learn, we'll talk about basics of Flask, no issues, forms, and how we retrieve this data, right? And third is file handling. Why file handling? Because we want to create a new file every time we hit a new page. And then there we talk about template inheritance also. So this template inheritance, you need to talk about things like base HTML and every time a new file gets created. Okay, so we'll talk about these things when we work with this, start creating this application. Okay, any issue in wiki, this markdown, any statement that you did not get or anything that I told you did not get?
Sir, I have one doubt. You were
Hmm.
saying that the root directory is template. So how is it taking from the PNG from static? How is it?
No, so the root directory is this, the entire thing where you have main.py.
Okay.
Okay, this is the root directory and this templates, so when we work with Flask, we talk about two folders, that is templates and static. Okay, so templates will have all the HTML files specifically and all the static files like JavaScript, because that script is not changing. Script is making some things to change on the paper. So we'll not talk about JavaScript, leave it now. But things like images and then style.css and JavaScript files all comes into static. Okay, so it takes it from there. Okay, so whenever we create a Flask application, we have to create these two folders, static and templates.
Sir, when I was doing it on my computer, not on the REPL
Okay.
interface,
Hmm.
there I had to specify which folder I was using. It was not taking, say, cellphone.png from a different folder. So is it specific to the REPL interface, or was I doing something wrong there?
No. It is related to Flask. The static template, this folder and templates folder. No, it is embedded in Flask code that
Okay,
so the what we say, the root directory which Flask works with when we work with a render template and things, it will search files in this templates. Okay, all the HTML files.
okay, got it.
Right, and then if we want to add something that is related to static, see, initially we had faced that issue, right? The image wasn't loading. Why? Because the image was in static and I again gave the root of static. Okay, I'll tell you what was wrong there. But see, all the static files, like things that are not changing, all the images are not changing, the style.css, all the stylings that we are adding to page are not changing. Okay, and so these files are put in static. Further, we'll also see that .js file, that is the JavaScript files, are also not changing because the code within them don't change. So that also we put here. Okay, and then every HTML file, because every HTML file is what we call a view, because whatever HTML files are there are those files. These are those files which will get rendered by the browser. Okay, so these reflect on what you will see. That is why we call them each view. So all these views will be put into templates folder.
Okay,
Okay, so when
okay.
we'll work with with the app, I'll show you more on this. Okay. So okay, anything else? Is this clear? Are you all clear with what we have to do? So
Yes,
whether you
sir.
know it or don't, that is a different question. But I hope you understood the task.
Yes, sir. Sir, but I have some doubt from the lab assignment 4.
Hmm.
Can I ask it now, or I should ask it later?
We'll try to do that lab assignment related question after. Okay, what I'm
Okay.
saying current right now. Maybe things will get clear. Okay.
Okay.
with this session? If not, I'll try to take those doubts in the latter part of the session. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All right. So what I'll do now is I'll just go to creating a new REPL. Okay. It is a Python REPL. Okay. So it will be
So is it necessary to do it in REPL or we can do it in our local system as well?
somebody speaking. I'm unable to hear. Hello.
Hello, sir. Is it necessary to do it in REPL or we can do it in?
No, it's not necessary. No, it's not. Any practical assignment that we are giving here or in a lab assignment or in solve with instructor session, it is not necessary to do with a REPL. It's just that it doesn't in REPL you don't have to worry about operating system and things like that. But if everything is sorted within your system, like IDE, all the packages that are required are installed, go with your IDE, no issues. Okay, so I've named it as solve with instructor W4. Okay, I'm creating a REPL. Okay, we got a new REPL here. Okay, one problem that I might face with this REPL is running this REPL. Okay, why? Because the previous REPL which was on, I don't want you to see the file, sorry. Okay, so the previous REPL which was on has to be terminated. Okay, so this is terminated here. Okay, so I'm making sure that this REPL is not running. So now I can move to my REPL, to the REPL that I've just created. Okay, so here main.py file is already there because it is Python REPL. What I want is to add certain files like, let me go to, okay, so in week 4 I have, okay, these statements. So this is what I want, right? You want question statement.md, style.css. Okay, keep this image also, no issues. Okay, all right. So I guess these many files are sufficient to work with at this stage. Okay, no, one more thing. I'll go to week 2. So I'll give you one from there. Okay, so we're taking, let's say, this page2.html because we want this structure. Okay, so I'll download this file. Okay, anyways, we'll go back to our REPL.
Sir, can you please share which all files we need to take from week 2, or if there's any link that we can take those files from?
Week 2.
Yeah.
What is it you're asking me?
So which all files do we need to take from week 2? Is there any link where I can?
Yeah. So see, I'm adding all the files that you need currently, and I'll share you the link of this folder. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So this upload file, so it will be in the downloads, right? Page2.html. Okay, so we have a basic file which will be useful for making templates. We have main where we'll write the main code. We'll have one image. Take a topic in your mind and a relevant image you can add here. Okay, and the style.css is something that we'll be inheriting from week 2. Okay, now the required files are there. I'll give you the link of this folder. Yeah, so you can take this file, open it, fork it, all the files will be there on your REPL. I've shared the link in chat. You just have to open this link and then fork it. So all the files that you saw in the file structure here will be there on your own REPL. those files are something that you can start working. Okay, are you able to get the files?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
we
sir.
got
Yes,
it.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, okay, it's already 2:30. Should I wait? How long should I wait? I'll wait for 2 minutes. It's not because you can finish in 2 minutes, no issues. So I'll wait for 2 minutes. Just get on with the files, what are there, understand what the files are saying, and then we'll start creating the application. Okay. Now, meanwhile, if you have any doubt, please ask.
Sir, this markdown file, right? That .md file, it will not come as a source, is it? It will be just the content as it is it?
Markdown file. Okay. What about it?
So it is coming up as actual context. It is not showing those tags which we need to use the source.
The source as
Yeah.
in.
So the markdown will have some tags and all, right?
I'm not really sure I'm getting what you're saying, Vignesh. Tags as in the HTML file you're talking about?
The markdown file.
Okay, so this markdown file, just click it, it will get rendered, no?
No, to copy it to local.
You can download it. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the file. This is the markdown. Okay, and what you want to copy it in local, just download it from here.
Okay.
Is it what you were asking or anything else?
Yeah, actually, a download option I'm not getting. So probably I'm not sure. Probably I need to log in or something. I think. Yeah, log in. I think I need to log in to download.
Yeah. So yeah. So all right, you need to log in.
Okay, got it.
The markdown, if you even click, it will be rendered, and the new tab will be created. So there is console, shell, and markdown. So it will be there even if you change the file. See. Yes, Tia.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Hi.
how to preview the HTML file? I'm not able to get that.
Okay, you want to preview the HTML file, just download it. See, if you click it here, it will open, right?
Yeah, so that's I can see the code. I just wanted to see the final output, like how the.
Okay. So, all right. One way to do it is download in your local.
Yes, sir.
Download it and open it. It will be rendered by browser.
But then, sir, we'll have to download it again and again.
No. It is downloaded, right? And then it will be. You can simply open it, right? And the browser, that tab will be open, right?
So whatever changes we make in the code, it will automatically. Will it
Yeah. So that
automatically
will
show?
do with the help of Flask now.
Okay.
See, currently we have this file.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
then with the help of Flask, we'll be able to render it and see it on the interface, either here. See where I'm just squaring it, either here or in
Yeah.
the new tab. Okay.
Okay,
And
sir.
every change that you make will be incorporated in the tab
Okay, sir.
later on.
Thank
But for now, if you want to see just what is there in the or how the thing look, you can simply download and see.
Okay, sir.
So, like, how can we see it in Replit instead?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
So, like, how can we see the HTML on Replit instead? Like, it used to show on the right hand side
Yeah, so that is where, see, this is so when we open in REPL, we want it to get rendered. Okay, so this is a Python REPL. We will not be able to render an HTML file within a Python REPL. For that, we'll be using Flask. If had the REPL been HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can directly see it. Let me show you. So here, if it, you know it, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what you're saying is that you want to see this file rendered on the top right corner of your browser.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that will be done with the help of Python.
Okay, sir.
Another way of doing it is you have to initiate. See, what happens is this this HTML files are rendered by the server. All right. So unless you create a server, you won't be able to see what, like, you won't be able to put these files onto the browser to render it. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to create a server. How to do that? We'll use http.server in Python. Okay, so if you have gone through what we say tutorial from week 1, it is a demo on how Replit works with Python and HTML. Okay, you can go through that. I just given you a hint of how to do it within file. Another way of doing it is Flask, which I'll be showing you now. Okay.
That http.server-m, that is what you're really referring to, right?
Yeah. So http.server will create a server, and that will host this web page, this HTML file as a web page.
Okay.
So that is one way. Secondly, another way of doing that is creating server with the help of Flask.
So we are using, like, I'm using PyCharm, so I can open a terminal and then launch a HTTP server using Python, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're using some this ID thing, you can do that within it.
Okay.
So if I talk about this thing, no, VS Code has something called an extension called live server. Okay, I'll just put it here on the chat. It's called live server. Okay, so this is an extension of VS Code. So what it does is you create an HTML file, and on the bottom right corner, it will give you go live option of go live. You click on that, it will serve that HTML file on the browser. So all these extensions are, all these are like external extensions given by different IDs. Okay, but we'll do something that is more common. One way, very simple way, is creating HTTP server. Other way is Flask or any other library that allows you to create server, like Django too. Okay, so let's see. Let's consider that this might take some time. So I'll start now. Okay, so currently I have this page2.html and this cellphone.png. So so when I work with Flask, I need to take care of two folders. Okay, so that is, one is templates. Okay, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one folder is template. This is where I'll keep all the HTML files. Okay, so I'll transfer this file here. Message on chat. Okay, and then another folder would be static. This folder is getting created within templates. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so this static will keep all the static files like CSS and cell phone and images and things like that. So I'll add this cellphone.png here, and style.css also here. Okay, now my structure is static containing static files, and templating, templates currently considering only one file, that is page2.html. We'll use it later. Okay, so we'll start with the application. All right. So first is importing. This is Flask. Okay, so first importing Flask. Okay, then we need to create an app. Okay, then we need to decorate it. Need to create a decorator function and add a route to it. So this is the base route that will be running when so running the function that I defined with it. Okay, so I'll define a function called generate, because what we are doing is generating HTML file on the go.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
What the line number 3 and line number 5 does? I mean, the app equal Flask name. What does it?
See, if you know the concept of if name equals to main. Okay, so this name, no, underscore name underscore underscore. This is whatever whenever you write this, whatever is the name of your Python file, that is main here, right? So that main comes under this. Okay, and this Flask method, when you put this main.py within this, it will create a Flask app of that. Okay, what
Okay,
exactly
sir.
happens into hello? Yeah.
Yes, but when we are doing the local thing, we are the file name is app.py. So then there is no main, there is no main function, but still it is working like if name equal main, that is
Yeah, but
holding.
okay, yeah, so that's what that main is, not this main actually. Okay, that main is referring to your the name of your file that you're working with. So this confusion is created when you work with REPL. What happens in REPL is whenever you create a Python REPL, it will create a main.py file, and when you hit run, it will only run main.py.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an
So
issue with not actually
so
issue.
the
Yeah, sorry,
yes.
go ahead.
So I'm saying that so the name equal main, it will run the current file, right? Or
Yes, current file.
and the function just after app.route, or
This is the function.
okay. And the add, what is the add the rate symbol does?
@ is a decorator. This is decorator. So what is a decorator? A decorator, let's say I have a function. Okay, I won't go into details of decorator, but I'll give you something, a basic detail of what decorators do. Okay, so let's say I have a function. Okay, and that does a job of adding two numbers. Okay, simple function that does a job of adding two functions. Okay, what I want is I want to modify the function that not only add the numbers but give the square of the sum whatever you're getting. Okay, so let's say if I add 5 and 5, I should get answer not as 10 but as 100. Getting?
Uh, so
Okay,
can you repeat it? So
yeah, so initially I have a function, let's say sum, that takes two numbers.
okay.
Okay, takes two numbers, let's say 5 and 5. Okay, what should it return me? It should return me 10, sum of 5 and 5.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I have a function like so, like that. But what I want is my function to not only add the numbers but give the square of whatever is the output.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I'll get 100. But one condition is I don't want to change anything with my original function. Okay, my function should be
Okay,
sum, and there should be
okay,
no change in the code whatsoever. But I want to
okay,
get the square of that sum. How do I do it? I add some additional functionality. Okay, I'll add
okay.
some
So
additional functionality to that function.
yes, sir.
Okay,
So
but not changing the function.
okay, so it's what is the original function here? Is it the route function?
Yeah, so route is not a function. My function is generate. What it does is whatever I'll write along with this. Okay, but adding app.route with this, what it will do is it will add additional functionality to my function. What is that additional functionality? You run, but only when somebody hits this /URL.
Okay, okay.
Okay, that is the additional functionality. Okay, if I write about normal Python, I'll write this generate function. I'll write, okay, let's say I'll write I'll name this function as sum. Okay, sum, and it takes a comma b as two variables. What it should return me? It should return me a plus b. Take a note of proper indentations. Okay, so return me a plus b. Okay, it will return me a plus b. But when now with this app.route, this function will run only when somebody runs the web server and hits this URL. This is the base URL or root URL as we say. Okay, we did not do anything to the function. Okay, we just said decorate this function so that only it runs when somebody hits the URL. Okay, so that is the additional functionality.
Yes, and one thing I also want to know that in a single Python file, can we add more than one route, or only
Yes.
one is?
No, we can add as many as we want.
Okay, but
Okay.
in this case, when there are only one route, so if there are many routes, which function will start? I mean,
See, this is the default route. Why we call it base route? Whenever you start the server, the route will be this. So it will start with running this function. Okay. Then we'll change, make some changes. Let's say I have another function. Let's say it has been decorated as app.route, and then I've defined it as this next.
It's like,
hello. Yes, somebody speaking. Hello.
Some noise was there.
Okay, fine. So whoever it was, it maybe somebody may have unmuted by mistake. All right. So this is the next route. Okay. So if I define a new function, let's say def generate again. All right. Generate again. Why is this showing error? Because of this function, I'm not writing anything. Return none. Stop giving error. Okay. So this generate again. So when I hit this URL now, where along with base, I need to give slash and write next. This function will run, not this.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. So let's move. Currently, we'll be working with only one row. Okay. So we are using a generate function. We'll create a generate function. Okay, and what this generate function does is initially this function should show me whenever I run the server, this function should show me a form, right? The way it did when I showed you the preview. Okay, so what was happening initially? A preview was being shown to me. I added the data, and then once I add page, I click on the button, something happened in the background, and then my page got added in the in the application, and then a new HTML file was created. That is what I'm trying to do here. Okay. All right. So along with app.route and the path that we want to connect it, another parameter that comes into picture is method. Okay. This will allow me to do multiple actions within one route function. Okay. Depending on what method I'm using. Okay. So this method will have things like get. Okay. When this is one of the HTTP method. Then there is another method called as post. This is another HTTP method. Each method have their own meaning. Each method have their own function. Can work in place of another, but they have their own semantic significance. Okay. Doesn't matter if it was not clear what I said currently. It will be. Okay. But we'll add methods. So what this says is you allow methods like get and post. Okay. Initially what did I say? It should first show me a form. Okay, it should first show me a form. Okay, whether to fill it or not that is my choice, but first it should show me a form without saying anything, without putting any input into the page. Okay, so that is done with the help of get. Okay, the get, as the name suggests, will simply retrieve information for you. Okay, what information it should retrieve? It should retrieve an HTML file showing you the form. That's it. Right. And then post method is something that will take your information to the server. All right. So where should I use post? Whenever I'm putting values into the form and clicking on add button. When I click on add button, what will happen? All the information that I put into the form should be taken to the server, and then some manipulations have to be done. Are you getting? Is this part clear? So that is why we are using two methods, because I want to do two things. One is retrieve information, second is post information. Okay, on this route with the help of this function. That is why I've added two methods. Right? This part is clear. Any doubt in this part, or is this part clear?
Yes, sir.
So it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Snail, you can use any double quote, single quote, doesn't matter. You can replace quotes from here and from here, no issues. Okay. So,
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, I just have a doubt. Sorry, I just joined in a little late today.
Okay.
Sir, regarding that app.route, in that the first parameter you have passed as a slash. What is the significance of that? Can you just
Yeah, this slash is just telling you that it is a base URL. Okay.
Okay.
Base URL. What is base URL? So whenever you run the server, you have to that server is run on a specific predefined URL. That URL is called as base URL.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so when we'll run that, I'll show you what the base URL is.
Okay, and right now it's going to support only two methods, get and post.
Yeah, right now it is supporting get two methods, get and post. Okay, you can simply add only one method, that is get. All right.
Okay.
Or you can simply remove this method, this part. You can simply remove this. Okay. In that case, the route app.route will consider get as the default method.
Got.
Okay.
Got
So
it.
currently we have want two things to happen at this route. Okay, based on our actions. That's why we added two methods. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
And
So
right now
currently we
this-
are not return. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So currently we are not returning anything, but initially it should tell me a form. Okay, that form I'll create. Just let me see if this is working fine. Okay, so I'll simply return a string.
Okay. So by default, whatever method is written below this app.route is considered in the app, right? I just want to.
Where exactly?
This generate function that you have written on line 6. By default, if you have written it below at app.route, then it is considered a function of app, right?
Yeah, it will be linked to this app.route, to this route actually, to be exact.
Okay. Because
okay, and yeah,
it is written below it. If I would have written it above it, it would not have taken.
No, it wouldn't have.
Okay.
You write it below it, leave some space, doesn't matter. Okay, but you cannot write above it. So this represents that whatever function is followed will be decorated with or will be mapped with this URI or URL.
Okay, and we can have multiple functions as well below app.route, right?
No. Here in Flask, you will have one function, one route.
Okay. Got it.
How can you run multiple functions at one route?
Right. No.
Right. So one function, one route. It is possible, but we'll see it later.
Okay.
All right. So okay. So yeah. So this will okay. So it is returning hello world. Okay. Initially, it will use get method. Okay. So if even if I have given a list of methods, the method of retrieving information, okay, rendering something. See this hello world. Where am I writing this? This is actually happening at the server. This is the server that I'm creating, right? So whatever I see on the front page is coming from the server, right? Are you getting this, what I'm saying? See, whatever we are doing is here, this application is actually, this is the server part. Okay, we are linking information to this URI. Okay, if somebody wants to see this information, he will hit the URL or URI at that base URL, and with the help of get method will receive this information.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the this app, yeah.
So the method is giving an error, sir. It says in type error, got an unexpected keyword argument method.
Got an unexpected keyword argument method. Why so?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, we'll see. So I'm supposing you have written if main and all things and then try to run.
No, sir. I simply ran whatever you have typed. Like
Yeah, okay. So this will happen because you have not run the app, right? App needs to run.
Okay,
That's simple.
okay.
So we write this statement. If name equals to currently why it is written, it is written. Don't worry about why it is written. We'll probably talk about this in detail, much detail. So if name equals to main, what we want is app to run. Okay, and then we also want to see if there is any error in the code, and also for that we put debug equals true. This is called as a debugger. Okay, we set it to true to see that okay, whatever is there, is it running properly, or if we are catching up any error, what is the error? Okay, we'll try to run this. Okay, I'll be using shell. So this is solve with instructor 4. So this is the shell will directly open the current working directory. So I said python main.py. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it got add unexpected key argument methods. This is because you have to write methods. All right. Yeah, so these small errors are tend to happen because we don't exactly remain what the code is. Okay, so see, it is running properly. It is methods. Okay. All right. So yeah, so now it is running. Screen must be visible. Just want to open Markdown shell. All right. Okay, so see, currently this app is hosting the server is running on this URL. Okay, this URL. So whatever is this, right? This is the base URL. This is called the base URL. Okay, this 127.0.01 is called the local host. It is also called as local host. Okay, HTTP is the method. Okay, and whatever we are writing here is the base URL. Okay, and this slash is represented by this. So nothing after this, only the base URL. This is what we meant. See, but if I run this,
Hello, sir.
yeah.
Here I am getting a problem. When I'm clicking the 5000 port, na, so I have done the lab assignment week 4. So that was running on that port. So I mean, it is taking from my local server.
Okay, so wherever
This
you are
5000.
running that application, just close the server there.
Okay.
How to close the server there? You just go to that server part and put Control C. It will close.
Okay. Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay, so again, but I am unable to run this. The problem is, see, REPL is a different machine. Okay, this whatever is happening here is not happening on my local machine. Okay, it is happening something on the server of REPL. So if I try to hit something with this, it is hitting an address which is there on my local machine. Okay, so that's why this thing doesn't work. Okay, what we need to do here is we can try adding host. Host says that you can run your REPL at any address. Okay, so whatever address REPL gives, it will run. Okay, let me see if this works. Okay, so what is this coming? Okay, yes, I see hello world. See, why is this happening? Because now my server is running on this IP address. So this may be the IP address of that local machine which is forming my REPL. Okay, so what does this do? This tells the app to allow to run this application on this URL. Okay, this base URL. Allow it, and that's why we can see that our function is run. Okay. All right, so we can think of app like a class object and run in a function defined for it, right? Yeah, so this app dot run is actually an object class, like a class object. Yes. All right, so for that you need to go into deep into documentation of Flask. Okay, but app dot run, you can consider this to be to run the app. Okay, a method defined or an object defined to run the app. Okay, so here we can see that okay, our app is running fine. Okay, whatever information. So see here at this URL, this is a linked URL to my application done by the REPL. Okay, So what is happening here? Here, this as I said, this hello world is retrieved from the server. What is the server? This is the server. This server is created from here. Okay. So this is the information that is retrieved. Okay. And now if I try to open it in the new tab and I inspect it and see network. Okay. And try to let me run this thing again. Okay. So solve with instructor co. Okay. If I click on this, you see the method. Can you see this? Is it visible? Should I zoom it? Hello?
Oh, yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, we can see the
It's
method.
visible, sir.
Right. Yeah. So what is happening? I retrieved hello world and that information is retrieved by the browser from the server using get method that can be seen here. Right. So as I mentioned that by default, if no method is mentioned or directly if I am returning something, that by default is happening with the help of get method. Now, why am I using post method again? As I mentioned, the post method will run when I add something in the form. And now I want that data to be transferred to the server so that server can use it. Okay. Currently, this information is stored in the server. I retrieved it. Simple. Now, if a form is available here and if I put some data, that data should go to the server and then server should be in a position to use that data. Okay. So that data will go with the help of post. All right, this part is clear, right?
Sir, I
Yes,
just want to
Yes, sir.
add one thing.
Okay.
Sir, this generate function, are we doing function overloading here by any chance?
Function overloading, I don't think so. Function is getting decorated. Why decorated? Because this we are simply not running this function. We are combine. Okay, what we say, mapping this function to a particular mapping this function to the particular URI and asking the server to run this function when this URI is hit. So some additional functionality is being added.
So I can change the method name to anything I want. No need to be generate only, right?
This name?
Yeah.
Yeah, put your name. No issues.
Okay.
Okay, this generate has a meaning to this. What we are trying to do here. What we are doing, we're trying to generate a HTML file with the data that we are putting with the help of form. So that's why I put generate. No specific meaning to that.
Got it.
All right. So now that our app is running fine, let's add more functionality to it. More functionality as in let's move to what we actually wanted to do. Okay. So now what I want is I want a form to come up whenever I hit this URL. Okay. And then, okay. So those who wanted to see how to run this HTML file with the help of Flask will just use one thing here. Okay. Some error is coming, leave that. See, why is it coming? Because see what it is showing, the generate function did not return valid response because I deleted response from here, right? So no issues with that. What I want is I want this this page2.html to get rendered here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll render the template. Okay, I'll render this template. Why is it showing red? Because it is not imported from here. So I'll import it from Flask. It is a wrapper around what we call Jinja templates. Okay, so in Jinja, what is this? Render template. Okay, so there is something. So we have seen template and then render method in Jinja. So this, the Flask, what it does, it makes a wrapper, creates its own method, and what it basically does is import Jinja's template method. So okay, so what we want to do here is render this template, right? So I import it and return here render template. What I want to render? I want to render page2.html. Okay, so I'll simply write here page2.html. So since this error came up, my server got broken. So I'll restart this. So many things happening. Okay. Yeah. So you see this, right? So this basic HTML is getting rendered. Basic HTML. Why this basic HTML is getting rendered? Why not the styling? Because in page2.html, it is saying href style.css. But where is my CSS file? It is in static. Okay, so you simply provide. So this is something that is not required, but I'm still doing it. Let's reload it. Yeah, there we go, the design. All right, so that is how we do render a HTML file with the help of Flask. Okay, so those were asking, is this clear?
Sir, can you repeat how is it related to Jinja 2 render template?
You're getting Jinja to XM template not found because Neil, you might not be having this templates folder. Your Jinja, this file, no, it should be in templates folder. Okay, yeah. So what I said is, see, in Jinja 2, what we did was, where if I wanted to render something with the help of Jinja 2, what did I do? I wrote from Jinja 2 import template. Okay, but this is not what I'm doing, right? Everything is being done by Flask. So Flask, what it is doing is, it is doing this thing when I call this render template. This is basically what I mean. So when I import render template from Flask, what it does is, this render template has some coding that imports Jinja 2 template and does the same thing what Jinja 2 was doing. Are you getting this thing?
Yes, sir, yes, got it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So here no need to import the Jinja 2, right?
No.
Okay,
If you're
then
importing Jinja, yeah. So this render template, no, this is doing the work of what Jinja does. Everything will be imported.
yes, and the file which the page2.html that is rendering, we can the extension may be page2.txt. Is it? I mean, for Jinja, it was any extension we can do, it will render. So is it same for the Flask?
It may not be same for the Flask. Maybe, but the thing is, see, what we want is, what Flask is doing, you need to take that into consideration. What Flask is doing, it is creating a server. Okay, the response from server, what it should be?
It should be HTML.
HTML. That is the reason mostly we'll talk about HTML.
Okay.
Right. I have not I have not tried rendering any other file. That's why I'm not sure. But this is like, ideally it should render HTML files. Okay, because this is something, this page.html is getting returned from the server, right? The information from server that is rendered by browser is HTML. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So the problem is, I'm not sure if browser is able to render anything that is not HTML. It may, because see, previously I wrote simply a string that is hello world and it got rendered. So no issues with that. Maybe it is possible, but this is not an ideal way of looking at it, right? It's better to render HTML files only.
Yes, I got it, sir.
Okay.
So is it right to say that Flask is better than Jinja 2?
Definitely. See, Jinja is only for templating. Flask is creating server and whatnot. See, currently we are only talking about rendering templates with the help of Flask. What we are doing is, in Jinja 2, we created static templates. Here, our template is getting generated dynamically. All right, it is rendering when it is being called only. Okay, first thing. Second thing is, in Flask, we'll talk about server. In Jinja, in templates, we'll not talk about server. It was in general only templating. Okay. Third thing, in Flask, we'll talk about things related to databases. We'll have wrappers that will work with databases. Fourth thing, we'll talk about things like what we say, security in Flask, things like Flask login. Then we'll talk about APIs in Flask. So there is a lot that can be done with Flask, but Jinja 2 is only templating engine.
Okay, sir.
All right. Yeah, so Flask is very extensive. Jinja 2 is itself extensive, but it will have so many, so many extensions for templating in some or the other way. Okay, so it talks about templating, not anything else, but Flask is a broader concept. Okay, so consider whatever is required of Jinja 2 is being taken care of with the help of render template in Flask. All right. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so without wasting time, we'll try to create the form. Okay, so that form should be also created in the templates folder. So here I'll add a new file. Let me name it as add.html.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
In my case, the CSS file is not rendered, the graphics is not coming. I've
Have you
kept it
put?
in the static folder. Yes, I've kept it in the static folder,
Okay.
style.css.
Okay. Can you show me what URL you have put under href?
Href, 1 second. Sir, exactly what you have written, I've copied this.
Okay, this static slash style.css. Is it?
Yes, I've copied from you. It will be same, I think. 1 second, I'm saying.
No, no, you may not have put static.
Yes, I have not put. Yes.
Hmm.
Static and style CSS. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I have given you without static, right? Because this page was confined to week 2, no? So there we were not using static. So initially my style was also not loaded. Then I added the static and it got loaded.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Sir,
Okay.
just have one doubt. So here you have given static slash style.css at line 7, referring to, but if you go to the main program, can you just go to the main program? Here in the render template, you're just given page2.html. Shouldn't it be templates slash page2.html?
Yeah, so this, see, whatever, that's what I said. In templates, even if this folder is not necessary that much, but templates folder is very much necessary, because when anything that is being returned, any view that is being returned, the Flask application first looks it into template folder, not in the root directory.
Okay. So by default, it looks at this
Yes,
folder.
yes. You don't have to add templates. Okay, whereas in static, currently there are things like, there are further things like URL for. Okay, we'll move into it later on. But if we use URL for, we don't even have to use static. Okay, in the page2.html, we will not even have to use the static and then style.css. We'll be simply using URL for, and it will take care of all the files within static. Okay.
Yes, got it.
Okay, so yeah, so now I'll start making form. Okay, this was emmet abbreviation. What did I do? Shift 1 will give me exclamation marks, hit enter. Okay, so you don't need these things. Okay, here I'll just add new page as the title. Okay, okay, so now I'll refer to my markdown. Is it? So I'll refer to my markdown. So what did it have? It had topics like content, topic, subtopic, content, related image, additional link. Okay. Yeah, so I want to add a form here. Okay, so if I hit form and hit enter, it will give me all the things that are required for a form. Okay, this action, there is one attribute called action and there is another attribute called method. Okay, so this action and this method. So this method must be very clear. What we want to use here, post. Why post? Because when I hit submit, my data should go to the server. I'm not retrieving anything from server there. My data is going to the server. So if the method is post. Okay, action is whatever I put action, this action will be the URL. Okay, or the URL. What is it saying? You go to this URI or URL whenever the submit button is pressed with this method. Okay, so I'll put this simply. Okay, because my base URI, what is my base URI? Is this. Okay, now I have been interchangeably saying things like URI and URL. Okay, so don't worry about that currently. Just so this is both URI as well as URL. Don't worry about it. We'll go back to add.html. So what this represent is, whenever you press submit button, okay, you go to hitting this URI with this method. Okay, so if I put here get, what will happen? You hit this URI with method get. All right. So this is about starting form. Okay, what contents do I want in form? First is the topic. Okay, so I'll put So input is one of the form thing. So input type text. Okay. And then what I want here, I want it to be ID. Okay. ID. What is it? Topic. Okay. And then I will also put a name to it. I'm putting one in capital, one in small, just to have the difference between them. Okay, I'll just show you this thing. All right, so I'll go to main.py. Okay, now here it should not render this page2.html, it should render add.html. Okay, so go to shell, run this. Okay, so I have a file called add.html. Nothing is written here. Okay, but it is giving me an option. Okay, so this is working. Let me go to add.html. So input type text. Okay, topic and name, but I want for the user to know, okay, what field it represents, right? So for that I can do two things. Okay, one is value. Sorry, value. What I would not exactly value. We can write anything here. Okay, let's stop it. I can write it here. This something like this. Okay, enter your topic. Okay, let's try to reload. Yeah, enter your topic. So one way of doing this is this, but see, I'll tell you one thing here. So if I click on enter your topic, nothing is happening. This thing is getting selected, right? Only this thing is getting selected. So if I want to put something into this field, I have to select to that field. Okay. Now what generally you may have seen in the forms that if you click here, the or cursor automatically comes to this field, right? So if I click on enter your topic or your anywhere on enter your topic, my cursor should come here, right? So for that there is a attribute called label. Okay, so we'll do label. Okay, so this label, see, it has things called for. Okay, so for it, this for says you, okay, for what input you are making a label. Okay, so here I'll add whatever is the ID that I've given. Okay, so this says that you are creating this label for the element that is having ID topic. Okay, and then whatever I want to write as the thing that to appear to show what the user is entering, I'll just put it here. Okay, enter your topic. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, seems like no change happened, but see, if I click on topic now, my this thing is getting highlighted. So if I enter your topic, if I click on enter your topic, my cursor automatically goes into that field, because now I have mapped both of this text part and this field part with each other. All right, this part clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Probably. All right. So I'll add BR because I want things to come into next part. Okay. Now here, from here, I'll start copying. Okay. We have to save time. Okay. How many fields are we working with? So we're working with topic, subtopic, content, related image, additional link. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so first was topic, second was, okay, so I need to change things or other things also, right? So here this topics become subtopic, because you cannot have one ID, right, for multiple elements. Subtopic, and just for keeping the things related, subtopic with capital S.
So what does
Okay.
name do?
Sorry, what?
So what does name here do? Name attribute.
This name, right? So I'll tell you what this does. Okay, so currently what type is doing, it is telling you, okay, this is a text type. Okay, what ID is doing, this ID is making this element unique so that it can be mapped with label. Okay, what does this name is doing is, it will let you understand what the content, what is the thing that you have entered in the form. Okay, I'll tell you. It may not be clear what I said, but I'll tell you what it is.
To get the data, no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to get the data. How? We'll see. Okay, then there is subtopic, then comes the content part. Okay. Content. Okay, here also I'll change subtopic. Content. Okay, here I'll write enter image URL. Right? Why this was also written in the preview that I've shown, right? Why? Because I'll add a text and make it link. I'll take care of making it link in the HTML later. So I'll simply add here enter image URL. Okay, and then the last thing is additional links. Okay, so I'll copy this again. All right, text copy. Okay, topic. This is additional link. Okay, no need to write this much bigly. Simply write link. Okay, and here I'll add additional link. Okay, and then again we'll need to change some of the names. Capital, we are following that trend. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me reload this. See, my server is running, so I just
So the
have to
line number,
reload my. Yeah.
so the line number 15, the ID should be different, right?
Yeah. So see, how can I say that it is wrong? Because it will be again linked with other. All right. So okay, correct that you mentioned. So line number 15. What is it actually? Okay. So this for is not changing, no. So that we also need, that also we need to change subtopic. So this the second field got mapped with subtopic. Third is content. So I'll change it to content. Okay. So ID and for should remain same. Okay. The value of ID and for attribute should remain same. That is how you map both. Then enter image URL. So simply here I'll write image image and then link. Okay, so this. Okay, next I want is this additional link to come down. Okay, so one thing, just enter your content. Here it is a text box, right? But it does not have the provision to increase the height and width. Why? Because this is text box. So it has a predefined width and height. But what we can do is instead of making it as an input, we can make it as a text area. Why? Because text is being added on a certain part of on an area. So we call it as text area. Okay, text area, id content, name content, and then this text area needs to be end also. So yeah, suggesting. Okay, let me reload this. All right, so I got text area, but again it should be aligned below, right? So I'll simply add a br. Okay, so my form is almost ready. Okay, and this is changing. Okay, so I've added. Why this? Because my content can be larger and I want to review it. I can review it here. Okay, if I type a very long thing here, it will not be possible to review. Okay, so image URL, additional link things. Okay, so once my data is filled, I need to submit. So I need to add one more button, that is submit. So again, I'll put an input. Input, and in the type I should specify that it is submit. Okay, in type I should specify that it is submit, and then there is another attribute called value. So what value does is, so see, if I don't add submit, let's see what happens. Okay, so there is a button called submit. Let me put it to next line. Yeah, so there is a button called submit. Okay, what I want to do is I want this to look like a adding page, right? So I'll add some additional information like, let's say h2 and write this, add your new page. Okay, and I want this since all the information is getting entered, I want this submit, not submit, it should add. Okay, add page. So what I should do here is simply give that as a value. Okay, I'll simply write add page. Okay, so instead of submit, it will show me add page. Okay, and I got this content here also. So my form is ready. Okay, and what is happening here? If you see in the shell, see what is happening at this port. Is it visible, by the way, the last line?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what it
Yes,
is
sir.
saying, you're going to HTTP 1.1. Okay, forget about the protocol. 200 is the status code, means everything is working fine. Okay, you're rendering, if I go to main.py, you're rendering this, oh sorry, this add.html. Okay, and see what the method is get. Okay, so unless I specify what the method is, rendering will be done by method get. Okay, now that I add the information, now when I add the information, I want this information to go to the server. For that, I'll use method post. Okay, but directly it will not use post because default is get. So I need to specify that the condition is post. So I'll write if. Okay, so now I need to see that if whatever method or request that I'm doing is happening with post or get. For that, I need to import something called as request. Okay, because we are requesting something from the web page. So if request dot method, so the method is one of its uh, object which specifies what method are we using. Okay, so if method is post, request dot method is post, do something else, not return render template. Okay, it should return the data. Okay, so I'll restart my server. Okay, so initially I'll get the form. Okay, so that's what I meant, right? As soon as you start the server, you should be first shown with a form. Okay, whatever data I add, if I add this to data, if I add, it should show me got the data. So what is happening here? So if you see here, first thing in the bottom right, when I hit add data, something happened with the form. What happened? All the data that was there in the form that was given by me got hit to this URI with method post. Now what this will do when the method is post, it will do something else, not the rendering of template. That's why it showed me got the data. Any issue here? Got this thing?
So can you repeat the last part?
Yeah. So see what happened. Okay, let me go here. Okay, so what happened? I hit the URL. Okay, when I'm not specifying any method. Okay, see if you forget about this part, what is happening whenever this function is getting hit directly, I'm getting a render. Okay, no condition is getting fulfilled. So if there is no condition, I will simply get this thing render template. Okay, and then with more what method get? Why? Because it is a default method. That is the reason. See this first line, last line, sorry, what you're getting get 200 is everything went fine. Okay, that is a okay response, status code. So forget about 200, forget about HTTP 1.1, leave that. What is important is get. Okay, so what it says is you got some information. Sorry about the background noise, by the way. Okay, so you are trying to retrieve some information. What that information was? This page, form page. So that got retrieved successfully. Why? Because you can see here, right? So you can see that means it got retrieved successfully. Then you added some data. Okay, and then you hit this page add. So let me show you this add.html. Okay, what will happen when I hit submit? It will hit to this URI with this method. Okay, it will hit the URI, this one, with this method. Okay, what will happen if I hit this URI with post method? This condition becomes true. Okay, when this condition becomes true, it will return me this. That's why when I add, click on here, I got this, got the data. Okay. To prove that what is happening here, look here in the bottom right. Okay. Everything went fine, but with what method? Post method. Okay. This is what I said. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, we'll move ahead. So this means that even the get method as well as the post method are working fine. Now, what the thing is, the very reason we made form was to get certain data from the form within the server. All right. So to now I want to take that request, take that data from the form. Okay. Now, when will I take the data from the form? When I hit submit, means everything that data is coming should be written within this condition, right? If the method is post, then and then only you will be in a position to retrieve some data from the form. So I'll start retrieving data. Okay. Now, how to do that? Again, I'll use request. Okay. What was the first thing that I'll be taking here? Topic. So I'll add here topic. Okay. In Python, generally, we should not write variable name with capital. So I'm writing topic. Okay. How will I retrieve topic? I'll write request. Again, I'm requesting something from the web page. Request from form. Okay. And get what do you have to get? The topic. How will this function or this code know that we are retrieving only topic and not anything else? There, that is where this thing comes in, the name. Okay, this thing comes in. So whatever comes under the text part of name will be retrieved as topic, right? So to specify what input we are taking and storing in that variable topic, we need to specify name. Okay, so let me put that. Okay, so here what I'll put topic. That is the reason I put their things there in capital. Okay, so it should be same. Okay, yes, nat.html. This is written
And
with topic.
sir,
Hello, yeah.
so instead of get function, we may use the dictionary format. No.
Instead of get function, dictionary format.
Can you use the dictionary format like in square bracket?
So you want to say that you want to add data in dictionary.
No, I cannot remember
Acha,
it,
acha,
but
okay, fine,
I
fine,
think
fine.
it was in the.
You're saying that this get, no, yeah, you can do that. So this is one way of doing it.
Yes, I think it was in the screencast. I cannot recall.
Yeah, so this is one way. Request
Yeah,
dot
okay.
form topic. Okay, but it is showing error something.
The
Something.
dot said the dot.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So this is another way. Okay. If you don't understand this way, simple put get and then get is a method. It does the same thing.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right. So similar. Yeah. Anyone else? Somebody else wanted to say something?
No, sir. I was just agreeing to it.
Okay. What happens if you make a method get? See what happens when you make method get. So if you hit the add button, it will go with this URL with the method get. What will happen if this happens? If the URI is this and method is get, again the template is rendered. Okay, so I'll show you that. Okay, so yeah, so Snail was asking what happens here. So if I go to form, see here the method is post, right? So what happens if this method is get? See what will happen. Let me reload. Just a minute. Okay, this server is now. So if I add page, okay, I need to show what is happening, right? Therefore, I'll write my name here. Okay. So if I add page, this will go back because this form will be reloaded. See, this form got reloaded. Why? Because I'm doing the same thing with get method. So in main.py, if the method is get, what happens? This will not happen. This will happen. Okay. So the same template got rendered again. Right, Snail? This is what is happening. Okay, and why do we need an ID and a name? Yeah, so this ID, this ID is to link this particular field with label. Okay, see what is happening here. See, if I click on enter subtopic, see the label related to that gets highlighted. Okay, this functionality is by itself not given in form. We need to add label. So what it says, whatever text field you're putting here is labeled with this. Okay, so to map this text with this text field, we use id. So if you observe, this topic and this topic are same. Okay, so for whatever comes in the for attribute of label is same as the id attribute of that particular input field. Is that clear? So this is why we are using id. Now, why we are using name? This name is used to retrieve this data, whatever I'm filling here, to retrieve this data within my file, right? So this topic, so request.form.get, okay, get something that is there in the topic and store it in the topic. This is what I'm. Okay, we can't use the id with request.form. No, it is an attribute of form. Okay, and request.form is a Python library, right? Request is a Python library. It has nothing to do with form. Now, if I want to get these things into form, request.form.get, and it will get all the value. Okay, all the attribute from value. Okay, if somebody is not getting what I'm trying to reply Snehil's reply, okay, from the chat. All right, so this part is clear, right? Okay. Similarly, I need to take other things also. So I'll store these in other things. Okay. Now I'll start copy pasting things. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So topic, then it's subtopic. Okay. Then we have something called as content. After content, what was that? Image. Okay, and then there is link. Similarly, yeah, just to bring out that clarification between, or that distinct differentiation between both what is value and what is variable. That's why I've taken one capital and one small. Content, image, link. Okay, so here whatever data we are getting from the form are being stored in this particular in these variables properly. Okay, so here everything will be stored. What I can do is simply print them also. Simply print them. Topic, will this print? No, it is not a it is not a string. We need to add it. Okay, let's see. Topic, let's say ds. Okay, server is not running because any error we make makes the server to stop. Okay, and what is happening here? The method I did not change, right? So I'll go back to add, put method as post, because I want whatever written under post to run. What happened? Sorry. Yeah, so I had unmuted myself. Yeah, so got the thing right. So we now the method has been changed to post, and see we could successfully retrieve what was there given in the form. Okay, I'll go back to this main.py. So I entered ds in topic. That topic got stored in this variable topic and just added to the topic. Okay, really sorry for the background noise. Okay, so I'll move ahead. Okay. Next, what I want is, okay, so when the data from this generate function or this form is taken by this generate function, I want this data to be stored properly in an HTML file to be created. So now we are mostly done with what we wanted to do with the Flask. Now we'll go with the templating. Okay, so there is an add.html. So this will be our form part. So we'll leave it as is. This is also done. We'll go to page 2. Okay, so this page 2, I want, see what I want is, there are things like, okay, up to here, is everything clear, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so now what I want is, I want to create templates so that everything that I'm retrieving with the help of form, everything that I'm retrieving that has to go to the HTML files also. Okay, so what I'm doing here is this page 2. See, there are things like meta, viewpoint, okay, this name, data science wiki, okay, style sheet, okay, link to language. These are all, these are things that I want to be handled in all of my pages, right? And let's say any number of pages that I'm creating, this should be a part of that. Okay, what actually varies is this. Okay, it's this relationship with statistics and things like that. All these things will vary. Okay, so we can rather use template inheritance here. So this is where we'll talk about template inheritance. What is template inheritance actually? So let's say I'm creating 10 files, okay, and I want all those files to have same styling. Okay, there are parts of that file, parts of that files which are common to each, right? So let's say when we talk about week 2 HTML lab assignment, okay, so there topics like the navigation bar, right, the top and the footer, copyright and things like that, all were common to all the 5 or 4 pages whatever you have created. That was not changing. What was changing was the center part. Okay, so so what we may have done there, we may have written all the code right from the scratch for all the HTML files, or all the views as we call it. Okay, but that is not something that we will do for all the 100 to 100 pages if there are there. Okay, so what we want to do there, we want to add take a certain part which is common to all the pages. Okay, put it in one part, and then change only a part which is new to that page or specific to that page. Okay, so that is what we are going to do here. So for that, let's call whatever is common, let's call it as a base template. Okay, so if you see this Jinja, this is template designer document. I hope you can see this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if you see the, just a minute, yeah, template inheritance. So there is something called as base template, and there is something called as child template. So this child template is something that is specific to that page, and this base template is something that is common to all the pages. Okay, so we'll try to do that thing. All right, so here I'll create a base, sorry, a new file called as base.html. Okay, and don't have to worry. Yes, we have only 20 minutes. I think this might take some long. So if anything is left, I will not hurry. I'll explain things, but we can extend this part, whatever is remaining, to another session. Okay, because I don't want to move forward to like move ahead of 4 o'clock, because you might have other sessions also. Okay, so there is called something called as base.html. So this base.html got created. Okay, what I'll do is I'll copy the entire content of base.html. Okay, the entire content of base.html got created. Okay, and then what really changes is things from here. Okay, so things from, yeah, things from this id main, no, whatever follows that changes. So whatever comes in that, in this div block, changes. The major div that is after body, everything after that changes, right, till here. Okay, so I'll delete this. I'll not delete it. Yeah, I can delete this part. Okay, so this part remaining, this is common to all. That is why I've kept it as base.html. Okay, this is common to all. Okay, so I'll leave it as is. Next, in page2.html, I'll create a template, a smaller template, which will have the specific data, right? The specific data. So for that, I don't need anything that is above this, right? I don't need anything that is above this, and I don't need anything that is below this. Okay, right? So this is the specific content. And then there is base.html, which has common content. Okay, but I want this specific content to know that there is a base.html that you have to add to you yourself whenever you get rendered. Okay, you got this statement, whatever I said? See, this is a specific content.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is a
Something
specific,
like import.
yes, this is a specific content, but this specific content should know that there is a parent content that needs to be added to this HTML file whenever you get rendered, right? This is what I meant. So for that, for this file to know what file we are choosing, we will write this thing. We'll write a keyword called extends. What does it extend actually? Which file does it extend?
Base.
Base.html. Okay. This will keep on reloading till the server is on and there is no error. Okay, so don't worry about this. So extend base.html. Here, this file will know, okay, so there is a parent file called base.html. Okay, and then if I go to base.html, I need to tell that, okay, there is some data here. Okay, whatever is highlighted, line number 10, 12, there is some data. So there is a child that has its content here. Okay, so for that, we have to make a common block for both the files. Okay, so what we do is, let's say I'll go to page2.html. Okay, and I'll write here. I'll write here what I'll write. So, so this common, we'll write here block main. Any name you can give instead of main, any name. Okay, so it should start with block and then followed by any name. Okay, and then wherever the block, this represent that a block starts from here. Okay, now I want to end that block should end here. Okay, so that block ends here. So here I'll have to end that block. It's what I'll write, end block. Okay, so this will become a block that should be the part of my base.html. So what now, if I go to base.html, I also need to specify where exactly I need that block to come. So I'll write same thing here, same thing. Okay, so what I'll write, block main. Don't forget, if I am writing main there, write main here. Okay, and then end block. Okay, now my template is like split into two parts, from which this is the parent, and whatever I'm getting, like whatever I'll be creating later on will become its child. Okay. Okay, so now we'll try to test this thing. So for that, we need to go to main.py and keep this render template as it is. Okay, we'll try to render it. We'll try to render it if the method is post. Okay, it has nothing to do with our data in the form, but still we are just checking, no? So we can put it here. Okay, what should we write here? Page2.html. We'll write the name of only that specific part, not the base every time, because base remains same. It is being imported. So we'll simply write page2.html. Okay, page2.html. Okay. So I got this page. So if I add page, see. So what is happening? All the styling and all things were there that were there in the base.html. Okay, and the specific content that was there in the page2.html. So you get this part, everything that is coming is between this, and it is taking, with the help of this, it is taking the base. So in exactly in the table code, we don't have to specify, okay, you have to take from base.html. That is taken care of by, it's taken care of by this page. Just a minute, okay? Not I'm really sorry, guys. It's like construction going on here, so I cannot help it. But I hope this is clear, right? Any issues here?
No, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. So we'll try to link our original data with this. So this is just static data. We'll try to link our original data. Okay. So I'll go to my page2.html. So this page2.html is a bit confusing. Let me change this name. Okay, so this is let's say what do you call it? For now, let's call it index. Okay, so index.html, and then we'll go to our main.py. Here, this page2 will replace index.html. Okay, fine. Now I want this data to be retrieved by the form and then put into my file. Okay, so what I'll do is so rather what I'll do is I'll take this as a template within as a what we call format multi-line string. We'll take this data. Why am I doing this? Because I want everything to be saved, right? See here, if I hit, let's say if I hit my name, okay, and I save it, add page, for that particular, unless and till the time this thing gets rendered, this variable will have the top name value as others. Okay, once this is done, okay, once this rendering is done and I get back to my form page, the topic will not anymore have this name as others. Okay, but the idea is to save every data, right? I want every page to get saved. Okay, so I need to make it as a part. This variable needs to be saved somewhere first. Okay, so for that, what I'll do, I'll just create a template, which is a multi-line template. Okay, a multi-line template having the HTML file. Okay, so I'll go to this index.html. Okay, and I'll copy this major part from here. Okay, so before that, I'll remove this unnecessary thing. So this okay, this is gone. So what I'm doing is I'm removing the static data, which needs to be replaced by the dynamic data. That not the exactly dynamic data. The data is somewhere getting added only. But thing is, it will. I don't have to take care about the structure, right? The ID, the classes, whatever there are there. I don't need to take care about that. Okay, and then I'll remove this technologies also. Anyway, I need to remove this entire thing because we are not working with ordered and unordered list now. Okay, we'll have this paragraph image. So we'll use this source hello. Yeah, so I remove this major content. Okay, what I'll do is, okay, so we want only one link because this is not specifically, and this link I'll paste it from here. Okay. Okay, so now this is coming as a normal string. If I make it a formatted string, see there is an issue. What is the issue here? If I make it as a format string, see why am I trying to make it as a format string? Because I want to add these values here, h1, h2, okay, image. I want to add these values here. But if as long so for that I need to make it format. But as soon as I do that, this extends and blockmen are getting creating an issue. Okay, because they are not part of format, they will be taken as a variable. Okay, is this clear what I'm trying to say here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we need to make a workaround for this. What I'll do is we'll see this part starting here and this part starting here cannot come as a format string but can come as a string. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll remove this. Okay, I'll simply write this. Let's say my I'll write final. Okay, final, and write it as a string. See what I've done here. I want to add something here. I want to add something here. Okay, and I'll add something here. What I've added here is this template. Okay, but what I'll add here is this blocks. Okay, so I'll remove it from here. Yeah, so this is fine, working fine now. See what is happening here. Whatever is there which cannot be formatted, I've taken it as a part of different string. Now the part which is here, right, starting from this div till this div, can be formatted. So I've added this format string. Now I can easily add variables. So here this h1 should be the topic that I'm working with, right? So I'll write there topic. Okay, this is just 5 minutes remaining, so I'll add this topic and then we can continue this part in the next session. All right, will there be any problem with this? Can we continue this part in the next
Sure,
session?
sir.
Yes, sir.
So next session mean in which day?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right, so there won't be any more gap with the whatever we have done. All right, and I'll start continuing from wherever I left today. Okay, and I'm literally very sorry about the noise because that is disturbing all of you also and me also.
No problem.
Okay,
No,
so will
sir.
that be fine? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll stop it here. Okay, if there are any issues till now on what we have done, please ask me. Okay, I'll clear that and then we'll close this session. Anyway, will that be fine with all, right?
Sir, then I mean, in this template and final this structure, the extends this structure. What is the advantage of this structure? Like we could do this thing using the way we have used in the Jinja 2, right?
Yeah. See, I am getting your point. See, what you're saying is the entire template could have been taken. See, one thing I wanted to show how in template inheritance work. Okay. Secondly, we this template, this currently we want it to system. Okay, this data, whatever I'm taking from the form, currently we are not using database, so this data cannot be stored.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
if we had used database, I would have stored the data to database, and then we would have simply used the templates and inheritance and things like that. But
No,
what
sir, I'm asking that when we are returning the rendering template and add.html, after that we can put the comma and then topic equal topic, uh, and we can add the topic in the double curly braces inside the
yeah,
add.html.
got it. So see, in that case what it will do is it will render and all the data will be added to the file till the time the file is rendered. Okay,
I'm not.
let's say
I cannot understand.
this is render.html, and this render.html is taking topic equals to topic. Okay, this render.html is taking topic. Okay, this variable. Got it.
Okay.
What will happen when this file will this function will run? It will render this add.html and place wherever there is topic. Okay.
Okay.
And whatever all the information will be properly visible on your screen. No issues.
Yes.
But
Yes.
when I will save this as add.html, this topic will not be saved. See, in add.html, this, if I want to write that add.html, what will I do? I will write here like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So when I save this file, only this will be hard coded and saved. Like it will be saved the way you see it. The exact topic will not be saved here.
Okay, exact. Yes,
See, what
sir.
I'm saying here is, let's say I go to the form. Okay, this add.html. Okay, and here if I write my name in the topic,
Yes, sir.
what should it save in the topic? My name.
Yes.
And here in the form, in this page also, it should say my name as in place of topic, right?
Yes.
But when I save this file in my folder structure, it will not save my name, but it will save this only.
Okay, okay. So it will not save the data.
Yeah, that's what. So what I'm trying to do here is, with the help of this template, I'm
So
trying to
in this case,
exactly save the data as a string.
yes, yes. And in this case, the Python program itself is
Sorry.
just.
I lost you. Sorry. Just a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
So in this case, the Python program itself is just temporarily storing the data.
Yeah, in case of form. But when I save it to template, the data will be saved in the form of string.
Okay.
Okay, and then when I render this file, it will be saved as the actual data.
Okay, okay. And then saving as actual data, that part you will cover tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll show you both the cases.
Okay, okay.
Okay, it is getting really hard to work with this noise now. What I'll do is, it's anyway 4 o'clock, so we'll stop this session here. You can go ahead and attend the other session if there are any. Okay, we'll continue with the same where I stopped here. And secondly, what I'll do is, I'll show you what you're saying, and then why is that a problem, and then we'll come back to this part, templates. Okay.
Okay, sir. And sir, can I ask some doubt regarding the lab assignments? Actually, I do not have any further session.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So anyone who is having any session after this, you can go ahead and leave this session. That will be fine. Okay. All right. So I hope this much part is clear. We'll be done with more, the later part of this app in tomorrow's session. All right. Yes. Go ahead with your lab assignment.
Yes, sir. In the lab assignment 4, we have to store all the images and CSS in the static folder. But it is not mentioned necessarily that we need a CSS file. So uh, we can skip the CSS files, right?
Okay. What is it not mentioned?
The CS in the problem statement, it is not mentioned that we need a CSS file, so we can skip that, right?
Yeah. CSS is not required. CSS was required only in assignment 2 that was not graded. Otherwise, we are not really bothered about CSS. You can yourself add any CSS, any styling you want. No
Okay,
issues.
and one more thing, that is, okay, let me see the thing.
Sure.
Yes, sir. When I am creating the image, the histogram, in previously it was working fine, the histogram, but now I set a color like blue. I set the color as blue, but within that some strip is coming. Like I don't know why the strip is coming of different color with some other color.
Maybe your histogram, you're putting both two datas, student data, course data, maybe something overlap is happening.
No,
What I would
but
suggest is, you retrieve both the data that you want to plot in another file as in another variable, store it, and then plot
yes, sir.
histogram of that variable.
Yes, sir, I did that. Actually, I did the same for the week 3 lab assignment also.
Okay.
But actually in week 3 I did the mistake. I asked you in the discourse forum, you told that I added all the float numbers, and that's why it just in this week 4 assignment I typecast it into integer, and I did not typecast it into float. But
Okay.
all the other code are same. But can I share my screen?
I don't think so. You'll be in a position to share your screen because I need to make you code. What you can do is just send me a code. Okay, mail me a code. We'll see what
Okay,
problem is.
sir. Okay. And
Okay, I'll.
can I and I will send the image also, the histogram.
Sure.
Actually, it is coming the exact histogram, but in it is coming in blue, but some deeper color strip are there.
Okay, fine.
So can you?
This is my mail ID.
Yes, yes.
I've sent in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what you can do is send me a code here. So is it about lab week 4 assignment? Is it?
Yes, sir. It is. It is
Okay.
still good. I mean,
Okay, but see, this
deadline
is
is
week
not
4
passed.
assignment, right? How will I be able to help you with this?
No, actually, I do not need any like code help. All the things are done. I mean, results are coming correct. Like
Okay.
everything is coming correct. Only the I can put the in discourse from the image only, the histogram image only.
Mm-hmm.
Like the histogram image is also coming correct histogram image is correct coming, but the image I have, the color I have set it is blue, and within the blue there are some strip. I don't know
Okay.
why it's
Okay.
coming.
We need to have a look at it. Okay, just okay, send a screenshot and send that part of code where you're plotting histogram.
Okay, only the histogram, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it is I did that exactly same with the week 3.
Okay.
Okay, I will so I should post in discourse, or I will mail you.
Okay, okay, sure. Okay,
And
thank you, Hemant. The session is not yet over. We'll have continue it tomorrow. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a doubt in week 4 thing, sir. In the app.run, for that should we specify the host address and the port and all for this in the assignment, or it's
No,
just
you don't need to.
just debug is equal to true, that is alone is
That is
enough,
fine.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
And one more thing, I haven't used this render templates that you've been teaching now with Flask. I have used the Jinja 2 thing. I see the Jinja is allowed in the sense, so I use that, and if I have done it, that should be fine, right?
Fine, fine, no issues.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So if a library is allowed, you can use it. So
Yeah.
that's what there can be multiple ways, right? So some here also I'll explain if there are more than one way of doing a thing, I do that, right? So there can be multiple ways of doing the same thing.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
And sir, in week 4 lab assignment, particularly the template, the child template, that is not required, right? It is not necessary, right?
Week 4 assignment. Are we talking about template inheritance anywhere?
No, sir.
Yeah. So see, you stick to the question statement. If
Okay.
you are coming up with a solution that is doing the required thing, that will be fine. But you don't divert anybody. This is for everyone. Do not divert with the question statement, because the evaluation scripts and everything that is happening in the background are very strict on question statement.
Okay, actually, the template inheritance that is used for the to save the all the data, right? So so how can I know that I mean it will be mentioned in the problem statement that data will be saved or stuff like that, right?
See, data will be saved is something I'm not getting. See, because we are, I guess in the lab assignment, we are not trying to do what I'm doing here. Right?
Yes, that is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So see, what is happening is, what do you have to do with saving data? Anyway, your form should accept all the kinds of data. Okay, and based on what data has been given, it should do the according. So let's say student data, it should plot things, or course data, it should plot things, whatever it is asking. So everything that is happening should happen dynamically. That is why we are using Flask, and that should happen with the help of the data given in the form. I don't think about taking data from somewhere else and then save the data and retain it in the program.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
Right. About the data.csv that you're talking, that again can vary, right? So it is a sample data for a reason.
Yes, sir. No, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I got
Mhm.
got that. Yes. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
okay, fine. So yeah, thanks for joining the session. We'll continue this session tomorrow, 11 a.m. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.